relatively fit, relatively thin, worked out now and again. And then life started catching up with me a little bit, working a lot, and the next thing I know I'm having babies and a beautiful little girl, and put on 30, 40 extra pounds that I didn't need, and I was eating too much and not working out. And when I did work out, I was sitting on my People, reading my People magazine on my treadmill, thinking that I was doing something for myself. And then my husband came to me and said, hey, let's have another kid. And I said, okay, I just want to get in shape first. Let me just, give me a little time to get this under control. And little did I know I was pregnant when we were talking. Oh. So, you know, I had my beautiful son, Matthew, and next thing I know, again, 11 months down the road, and I kept saying to myself every morning, today's the day. I'm going to eat whatever I want tonight, and tomorrow it's on. I'm going to take care of myself, I'm going to work out, I'm going to do this thing. And 11 months later, after my son was born, we're sitting on a beach in Cabo, and we had a very adventurous relationship. We did everything. We wanted to go everywhere, and I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to get in a bathing suit. I didn't want to go on a hike. I didn't want to, you know, he wanted to go ride, you know, jet skis and do all kinds of things, and I just wanted to sit in the hotel and sleep. Didn't have any energy, didn't have any desire to do anything. I just was really unhappy with me, and any arguments we had in our relationship, any unhappiness was all stemming from how I felt about myself. Because all in all, I had a great life, a great family, a great husband. So I told him right there in Cabo, I said, I'm calling Sweat, because we had a mutual friend that had been at Sweat. It was a huge success story, and he'd been trying to get me to go to Sweat for 2 years, and I just kept saying, nope, I can do this on my own. I don't need help. And I just decided that day, I do need someone to push me, I need some help. And so I picked up the phone from Cabo and called Gina. And the next big hurdle for me was just getting in the door and just admitting that I had a problem and I needed help and I needed to get on that scale. So I got in the door with Gina and I got on that scale. I'll never forget it. It said 206.6 pounds, and I was mortified that I had let that happen to myself. And I kind of made a decision right there that I'm done. I'm done feeling like this. I'm done making all the excuses why I won't work out. You know, I'm too busy with my kids. I'm too busy with my job, and I'm not happy. So I kind of made that decision right there, and I hit it right away. It was just immediately, that first week, it was like something clicked in my head. I needed this. This is what I needed in my life. And I'll never forget, I went to boot camp that very first Saturday, and I lost, Christine, my best friend in the world, was with me, and I'd lost 6.6 pounds, and the scale read 200, and the competitive part of me was so pissed off that I hadn't gotten below 190, you know, below that 200 mark. I was still sitting there at 200. But I was really happy that I'd lost 6.6 pounds, and each week it kept going down from there, and I started feeling like my old self again. I started feeling happy, and life was very blessed for me at that point. And so I started the weight loss challenge in early October. I've been at Sweat for 4 or 5 weeks, and I went on a business trip, and I came home on October 8th, got up the next morning on October 9th, went to Sweat at 5 a.m., kind of phoned in my workout a little bit because I was tired, wasn't sure I really wanted to be there a whole lot. Went home, kissed my husband. He had a few flights that day, and he sent me a text at 1:45 in the afternoon and said, look for me, he was a pilot, be flying over the house in a half an hour. And that was it. That was the last time I ever heard from him or saw him, was that morning. He crashed shortly after takeoff. We don't know what happened. I still to this day don't know what happened. The FAA is still investigating. And, you know, of course, in that instance, your life changes 100%. And I remember I went to bed that night. I woke up the next morning, and Christine, again, my lifesaver, was making calls for me and telling people what had happened. And I said, you need to call Sweat. And she looked at me the only way your best friend can look at you, kind of like, are you on crack, sister? She said, why do I need to call Sweat? I said, well, because I don't want to quit. Because everything in my intuition, everything in my body was telling me, this is what you need right now. You should not quit right now. And I'll always believe that. That's Mitch telling me, go for it, do it, you know, do what makes you happy. So she called Gina, and a couple hours later, my phone rang, and it was Laura. And Laura didn't know me hardly at all. We'd met once, I think. And she was just in tears on the phone, and she just reached out with me with her whole heart. And she said, whatever you need, I'll watch your kids, whatever I can do for you, whatever I can do to help. And she said, but Josh and I have talked, and we know you don't want to quit, so we're going to give your friends some free sessions and get them in the door so that you can get in the door. And I've never told Josh and Laura this, but that was huge for me. Because when you're a widow, or when you're anybody who loses someone close to you, everyone wants to run away from you. They don't know what to say. They don't mean anything by it. it's just, you're the white elephant in every room you walk into. So to have my friends with me, to walk me in the door and make me feel normal and make me laugh, which was a big thing in my marriage. My husband was the happiest guy in the world. So to be able to understand that I just needed people to make me laugh and make me feel normal was huge for me. So the next huge thing for me was just walking into Sweat and having Josh actually train me. He didn't treat me with kid gloves. Now, he didn't abuse me quite the way he abuses me now. But he did actually train me. He didn't just treat me like, you know, I wasn't there to actually work. And he trained me for the first couple of months after Mitch died. And every day I became a little bit stronger, and I became more committed. And all the reasons in the past why I couldn't get to Sweat. I'm a mom, I'm too busy. It became, I'm a mom, I have to go to Sweat because my kids need me, and my kids need me to be strong and healthy and happy. And when I take care of me, I'm all those things for them. And I'm too busy at work. Became, you know, how can I do a good job at work if I don't do this? So all those little obstacles in my life that before were excuses and crutches for me became the opposite. And I started finding so much joy in my workouts and so much peace in my workouts. And it was the one place I could go where I really felt normal. People didn't necessarily shy away from me anymore. They were used to seeing me, and it wasn't a problem. So I committed to it 100%, and we ran a half marathon about 4 months after my husband died, and then we ran a full in June, all again thanks to Sweat and the training that they helped me with. And then something else clicked in my head, and I've had enough people reach out to me and say, you've motivated me, you've inspired me. I just decided, you know, life is short, and I don't enjoy what I do. I had an executive position where I travel all over the country, always away from my kids. And my kids need me, they need to be home, they need to be happy. So I decided, hey, I think I want to do this. I think I want to train other people and see if I can get them to understand the mental blocks that they have in their head and how to push through it. So, you know, one of my goals is I want to show everyone, when you come into Sweat or when you do anything in your life, don't phone it in. You know, come in and give it your all, because the only one holding you back is you. And don't phone in the diet, because that's the thing I've learned in this Tony Challenge. You know, even when I did the marathon, I wasn't nearly as lean as I am just doing the diet. I mean, I really thought I could just do this by exercise alone, and I could still eat all the pizza I wanted. It's not necessarily the case. So I've learned a lot throughout the last year, and I found a lot of happiness and a lot of peace. And you know, it's not just in your workouts, and in everything in your life. My advice is to just live in the moment, enjoy, don't have petty arguments with your spouse, because when the end of the day comes, you're not going to remember any of it, and it's not going to matter. Just be happy and work as hard as you can, because that's what matters at the end of the day.
Awesome.